Rosendell. She's membership manager at BioMADE, one of 18 manufacturing innovation institutes sponsored by the Defense Department, and this one's based in Minneapolis and in Emeryville, California. Jacera was previously senior volunteer manager at Special Olympics Minnesota and has held similar positions at several other organizations in the US, Hong Kong, and Tanzania. Jacera has a BS in community health from Montana State University, Bozeman. I'm just going to dive into these questions. BioMADE was formed in 2021 and is one of the youngest manufacturing innovation institutes. Tell us about how many members you have and whether they're all in Minnesota and California or a broader geography.
Absolutely. Happy to, Kathleen. It's great to connect with you all. I am going to apologize. I believe my internet is a bit laggy, so I'll go off video to try and best maintain access there. Thank you in advance for your patience. Yes, happy to answer a bit of who BioMADE is and our membership ecosystem, because that's very core to our organization. As you mentioned, Kathleen, we are an MII, so our primary focus is on supporting the bioindustrial manufacturing industry here in the United States. We have those offices in Minneapolis and Emeryville, as you mentioned, and we actually recently announced that we will be building pilot scale facilities in both of those states as well. But our membership and our purview really is nationwide. So we do have over 320 member organizations. Many of you here on the call actually come from those member organizations and spaces, headquartered in 39 states. So we are really charged with reshoring, diversifying, and kind of supporting the bioindustrial economy here in the United States through a variety of initiatives.
And tell me, let's talk about what exactly you do. BioMADE supports the scale up of the bioindustrial manufacturing technology from research labs to commercial production. What is bioindustrial manufacturing? And maybe you can give us some examples of it.
Absolutely, yes. And it was great to follow Mark on the call earlier today because I
Yeah.
think he did a beautiful job of outlining a bit more. So fantastic coordination there. Bioindustrial manufacturing is the use of a biological system. So that can be bacteria, yeast, algae, any feedstock or waste stream to produce a material or chemical or product alternative. So I think most common examples that folks have utilizing a natural fermentation or bioindustrial process would be things like beer and cheese, right? So I know we have a lot of Wisconsinites on the call, certainly have an understanding there. The companies and technology that BioMADE is working with scope a really, really wide range of products and materials. So that can be things like a bio-based plastic that doesn't have a PHA or is a PHA alternative. That can be synthetic spider silk. That can be growable cement or natural rubber alternative. We have a rubber technology through one of our projects that is actually taken from a dandelion core or technology, excuse me. So really wide range. And at BioMADE's perspective is we're application agnostic. So our scope and purview is very wide and intentionally so. Our ecosystem wants to have as many different players and technologies in the conversation to network with one another, as well as engage with BioMADE opportunities, right up to, I should note, biopharmaceuticals. So there is another MII, which is called NIMBL, NIIMBL, that focuses in on the biopharmaceutical side. So we let them sort of lead and drive with their areas of expertise there.
Did you say growable cement?
Yes, I did.
What is that?
Yes, I can share some more details on it following up, but there are a few different members who work in this space. Really interesting technology, and happy to share and highlight a few of those companies too.
Awesome. And you said that in Minnesota and in Emeryville, I don't remember the phrase you used, you're doing pilot plants. Did you say, tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, absolutely. So we at BioMADE have offices, as you mentioned, in Emeryville and Minneapolis, but we have members nationwide. What Mark outlined in terms of your early charms focus on the bio-MRLs or TRLs of 1 to 3, BioMADE's purview or kind of focus areas is bio-MRLs 4 to 7. So we actually step in a bit later stage, past proof of concept and pre-commercialization. And our focus is on spanning or supporting companies in bridging that valley of death through a variety of initiatives. So one of those is project calls, which you and I will talk a bit more about. And another of those is having access to mid-size infrastructure through facilities. So What that has looked like is BioMADE will be building an interconnected pilot scale network. So pilot scale is mid-size for us, 5,000 up liters, pre-commercialization scale. The announcements in the Minneapolis facility and Emeryville facility are that they will have different structures and capabilities, as well as models and access, not only for government partners, but members, as well as the broader industry stakeholders. The Emeryville location is set to be open in early 2026, and Minneapolis will be operational in early 2027. And we are looking at additional states of interest and locations. These are the first two of what we hope will be mini sites. Indiana, Iowa, Georgia, North Carolina, and Hawaii are on the first scoping list for that.
And what will the focus of each of these pilot scale plants be in Emeryville
Yes,
and Minnesota?
yes, happy to share the fact sheets for each one of them. At the Minnesota site, it's going to be a demonstration demonstration facility. So we'll have two 25,000 liter fermenters, and then we'll have some combustible capabilities as well. We've got a variety of DSP options there on the centrifuge side and some processing equipment. So really diverse in terms of initial partner build out. And I believe the concept there is to have more of a modular capability for moving in tech for a set number of months, scaling it up, and then being able to move it out. The pilot scale facility in California will be smaller. That's a co-build with Lygos, which is a company in Northern California, and that will have up to 5,000 liter tanks. There will be spray drying capabilities in the Emeryville location as well.
This is a growing field, right? This field of bioindustrial manufacturing.
Yes, absolutely. We were just talking about that in our breakout room, which it is. Currently there's about 600,000 jobs through the U.S. bioeconomy, about 49 billion in wages. And that economy is only anticipated to grow. So there's a variety of feedstock partnerships and biomass capabilities and potential across the U.S. that can really be harnessed. We could look at by 2030 up to 1 billion tons of biomass annually that wouldn't disrupt traditional agricultural feedstock markets.
Biomass being what?
Yes, great question. Yeah, so biomass can really be a wide variety of inputs. That could be corn, soy. Those are some great examples, but we do also have wastewater feedstocks. There's a couple of companies that work in that space. Hyphae would be one of them.
So this is kind of made for the Midwest and Great Lakes region. There's a lot of that stuff around here, right?
Absolutely. Yes. It is a key partnership area or value stream area for agricultural partners and farmers. That's actually one of the priority areas from the government's perspective is certainly to provide the United States with advancements or cutting edge trajectory in the bioindustrial economy, but also to create a secondary or new primary market for US farmers.
Could you give us an example or two of a project you've worked on and the outcomes that have ensued?
Yes, absolutely. I would be happy to. And maybe it's helpful too if I talk a bit more about what that looks like here at BioMADE. So
Yeah.
we have three program areas here at BioMADE. The first is tech and innovation. The second is education and workforce development. And then the third is our 4S program, which encompasses safety, security, sustainability, and social responsibility. And I lined them up 1, 2, 3, not in ranked order. They all are equal players in terms of BioMADE's focus and scope. Again, of bridging that valley of death for the bioindustrial economies that we're working on. And so BioMADE extends the opportunity for organizations to submit proposals for what's known as project calls. We have had 13 project calls to date since 2021 when we were founded, and up to 95 projects in total. Funding under those project calls does utilize a cost share model. So it is a one-to-one kind of match in funding from BioMADE and that organization. Most often that can look like staff time or facility use fees. And we funded a wide variety of projects under those three program areas. So a couple that could be valuable to talk about was one with Georgia Institute of Technology. So under that tech and innovation programming, they worked on stress testing supply chains and actually developed a supply chain tool that members can plug in each one of their manufacturing capacity step points and identify complications, disruption to supply chain, preventative opportunities for them to accelerate their business. And that is available for members as well.
So you said you work with TRLs 4 through 7, but that seems earlier.
Correct. Yeah. So it would be spanning early stage and then through a commercial scaling.
So there's hope if a university has a project like that, it doesn't necessarily have to be a TRL 4 or up.
Yes, and I think when we're talking about TRLs, it's incredibly rare, if not impossible, to have any technology sit very neatly in one exclusively. There's span and overlap with all. So yes, we do
Yep.
have members that are a bit earlier stage with 3, 4 technology spaces.
Yep.
But this looks at the commercial implications for their supply chain operations as well.
I want to encourage, if anybody has questions, please put them in the chat and I'd be happy to pull you up in the spotlight, but you were going to say something to Sarah.
Oh no, happy to answer any questions. I just
Well,
wanted to.
go ahead.
No. What were you saying? Apologies.
Another example, maybe.
Absolutely, yes. And this would be from our education and workforce development side. So under BioMADE projects, we do award single organization projects. The University of Georgia is one that is a great example of that. But we also strongly encourage teaming and facilitate networking sessions with our members. So one of those that is a multi-member initiative between a nonprofit called BioBuilder, a small company called Ours Biotech, or a startup company, excuse me, and then Daysell Arbors and TSU all put together a high school bioindustrial foundations course and curriculum that just under 300 students have taken to date across 11 states. So again, we are looking to really raise awareness at a very early age of the bioindustrial economy as a very viable field. That's 644,000 jobs currently will only grow in our vision.
So does someone have to be a member to work with you?
No, so that's a great question. Certainly membership is a primary focus of my work, but we do have a variety of initiatives that are engaged across our programming. And my colleague in my department, Laura Vitko, is our strategic partnerships manager. So we work broadly across a variety of initiatives.
And if someone, tell us about membership,
Mhm.
what's the cost and what are the benefits of being a member?
Mhm. Yes, absolutely. So our membership program is meant to provide access, as I said, to a wide variety of players in the bioindustrial economy. So we do have tiers across both the academic and industrial side. At our academic partnership level, we do have a couple of tiers that provide cost access to our opportunities for training in community colleges. And then we have university tiers, which are our next step up. So the training and community college tier is $100 in annual membership dues. And then we have for our university partners a $10,000 or $35,000 option that's available. Those provide broad access not only to project call submissions, but also to our networking events, annual member meeting, and access to our member portal. So a couple of other broader.
Your annual member meeting has historically been in Minneapolis, right?
Yes, it has been. Yeah. So dates have been announced. It will be held in late April of 2026. Location has not been confirmed, but for the past 3 years, we have held it in Minneapolis. So I'll leave that there.
Uh, Alan, do you want to jump in and ask your question or do you want me to ask it?
I can jump in.
Amy, thank you.
Yeah, hi. I guess my basic question, it seems like what you're doing would be of great interest to the various state biotech associations. They've got a ready-made membership, obviously. They've got a ready-made kind of sense of what's needed. So it would seem to me there'd be a lot of collaboration. So do you work with those organizations as well?
Absolutely. Yes, that's a fantastic question, and we do. So one example I can think of is NC Biotech, which has done an incredible job over the last 30 years with really building out the Research Triangle area of North Carolina. They are current members, and we co-collaborate very heavily on a variety of projects and initiatives. So it's just one specific state. But as Kathleen asked, we've got that membership pathway, but we do also connect and resource share with other state initiatives or industry partnerships. SIMB is another great industry event that we collaborate with.
Does that happen as a result of them contacting you to say, gee, we heard about BioMADE, we want to learn more? Or do you actually go to some of their annual meetings yourselves and make those connections? Again, it seems like this whole business of regional cooperation is always a matter of starting out with knowing who's on first, who's on second, who's out there, who might I contact with. And if you don't have a clue, anyway, it just seems like this is really interesting information to have, that you guys exist and that you provide that opportunity for companies.
Yes, absolutely. And this piece too of not needing to recreate the wheel, right? You know, if we're looking at North Carolina, for instance, NC Biotech has such strong state partnerships and can really look at relationships. Lagging here again, I apologize. I can really look at those relationships in a way that is much more contextualized than we could. So yes, we are strong believers in partnering with and collaborating with experts in each one of the area because we're a nationwide initiative.
Thanks, Alan. Another one, we have a couple minutes left. One last question. Tell us about how your project calls work. Do you have to be a member to get in on the call, and how do you pull that all together?
Yes, great question. And so we historically, yes, have required membership for organizations to participate in these calls themselves. When the calls are announced, they're very publicly shared. And so we have a two-stage application process for them. The first is a white paper, and the next step is a more detailed application. Historically, we have had requirements for membership at the white paper submission date for primary. But what organizations have done and how it's been structured in previous years is a membership requirement for the primary at the white paper stage, but there can be partners if they aren't current members who would just be required to be members if they advance to the final application stage. So we do work and connect if there's broader collaborators or a current relationship that companies are working on. We work with them in terms of bringing those partners in or identifying partners who are already potential partners who are already in the network.
Well, it's awesome to know about all the things you're doing. And for everyone here, we're happy to connect you if you need to get connected right away. And we will send out contact information to everyone who's been here. So thanks so much, Sarah.
Thank you. I look forward to it.